CKLA makes you a reading teacher, whether you are one or not. And I think that's what our district was looking for. Is it didn't matter what classroom our second graders were in, they were going to get a strong reading teacher because we had a strong reading program.
And I love how it has the articulation pieces in it. For example, flat, my students say or they get confused, but because CKLA teaches them it's voiced or unvoiced, then it also helps them to decode that word. They don't have a picture to rely on. They have to rely on voicing and articulation and things that we taught them. That way they can attack any word they see without a picture.
So it's really, I feel like I'm assessing them the whole time I'm teaching so that I know exactly what they need and when they need it and what to do about it. Because a lot of times we were getting really good at identifying that our kids didn't have a specific skill, but we didn't know what to do next.
I'd sit there and I'd question what I wanted the kids to learn from the story. And I'd realize that I turned that page and Amplify already had those questions. Amplify already had that thought process going. So it let me kind of put what I'm teaching on the back burner and do what my job is, which is how to teach. I think that was a great part of it.
And also I'll say, CKLA ensures that part of the science of reading is being able to set and recall background knowledge. So everything that the students are learning now will build upon something that they'll learn in the next grade.
Our true enemy is time, right? How can we, within a short amount of time, ensure that our students are readers and writers so that they can go forward and do all the things that we dream for them or the dreams that they have? Our teachers are actually super excited that topics are so comprehensive and so wide-ranging.
Welcome to Amplify CKLA. Educational leaders across the country recognize the significant impact that a knowledge-rich reading experience grounded in systematic, explicit foundational skills can have on young learners. Commonly referred to as the simple view of reading, this mathematical equation is the bedrock of Amplify CKLA. Top rated by Ed Reports, CKLA is helping teachers change the trajectory of their students, reducing the third grade reading gap and reversing the trend away from intervention. The fundamental structure of CKLA is grounded in the science of reading. Materials support knowledge development and listening comprehension in the early grades, grounded by a strong foundational skills strand. As students grow as readers in the upper grades, the materials grow with them. In grades K2, that means a two-strand approach. 60 minutes of explicit, systematic foundational skills instruction every day in grades K2, combined with 60 minutes of intentional knowledge build every day. In grades 3 through 5, the two strands become one, an integrated ELA block covering reading, writing, speaking, listening, grammar, and morphology, still while intentionally building background knowledge critical to academic success knowledge.
First, let's explore the explicit and systematic approach to foundational skills in CKLA. Students map sounds to letters, apply those sounds in connected texts, respond to text-dependent questions to develop comprehension and writing skills, and every lesson is supported with practice and reinforcement. In CKLA, we go slow to go fast. The first unit of kindergarten focuses on phonological awareness, separating sounds, bells, drums, hand claps, to build understanding that sounds have a beginning and an end. From there, you move into phonemic awareness, using a multisensory approach for blending and segmenting. And by the end of the kindergarten year, students have learned basic code, 40 different sound spellings, and they are off in reading. Grades 1 and 2 explicitly and systematically teach advanced code, the more complex sound spellings, so that by the end of second grade, your students have worked through all 150 sound spelling combinations. The K2 skill strand materials include code charts, letter cards, activity books, readers, and more. Everything you need to deliver explicit, systematic skills instruction. Lessons in the unit-level teacher guides are sequenced to help you deliver comprehensive foundational skills instruction. The CKLA Skill Strand is not just about phonics, though. It includes handwriting, spelling, comprehension, writing to text, and writing process instruction and practice.
Let's dive into a first grade CKLA skills lesson that introduces a new sound, ow. A handy chart outlines instructional time and materials for each section of the lesson. You will also see suggestions for grouping students. Keep in mind that in CKLA, whole group means that all students need to receive that instruction. You may decide to teach the whole group sections to small groups of students. Advanced preparation notes anything you need to do to prep for this lesson. Again, referencing CKLA resources, including suggestions for universal access. The Speedy Sound Hunt warm-up challenges students to quickly find spellings and example words that match verbalized sounds, reviewing previously introduced sound spelling combinations, and focusing students on the lesson. Most importantly, these warm-up activities engage your students' brains and get them ready to take on a new concept. This is not letter of the day phonics. Students focus first on the sound, listening and repeating the ow sound words. To check for phonemic awareness, you read a paragraph, and every time your students hear the ow sound, they touch their noses. They hear the sound, say words that contain the sound, pick the sound out in a paragraph. Now it's time to sing and dance the sound. Every sound spelling in CKLA has a catchy tune and a fun dance to help students embed that sound into memory. Chaining activities help students map the sounds to letters, connect the new sound to previously taught sound spellings, and create new words. In kindergarten, students can practice chaining in small groups or with partners using CKLA chaining folders and small letter cards. Students continue to map sounds to letters in their student activity books, beginning with handwriting, then writing ow sound words, and responding to ow sound word questions.
Now it's time for students to engage with the new sound spelling in text. CKLA Skills student readers are 100% decodable. Students are never asked to use unreliable reading strategies. Everything they read has been previously taught and reinforced. But these are not traditional decodable readers. They feature reoccurring characters from different backgrounds and cultures, and compelling stories and informational texts that are tied to text analysis skills. These rich texts aren't solely about decoding. Students visit and reread chapters for fluency, expression, and text-based comprehension. Response to text activities in the student activity books encourage students to cite page numbers to support the use of text-based evidence. Clicking into the digital CKLA Student Hub gives you and your students access to the sound library, songs and dances, articulation videos, and all of the student readers. Online student readers feature audio support and tracking for practice and reinforcement. And every CKLA skills lesson also includes a section labeled Additional Support, so that you can address gaps that happen as you see them. You can find support materials in the back of your teacher guide.
The Core Knowledge Foundation developed a unit structure that develops critical academic knowledge in 3 key areas: science, social studies, and literature and culture. This intentional design builds content knowledge within and across grade levels, setting students up for academic success beyond K-5. Since listening comprehension far outpaces reading comprehension in the early grades, knowledge strand lessons in K2 are anchored by daily content-rich read-alouds, building core knowledge, vocabulary, and critical thinking. So what does CKLA's knowledge building look like for a teacher in the classroom? The CKLA Knowledge Strand provides everything you need for a deep, meaningful exploration of critical academic topics.
In this example from second grade, you and your students dive into the fascinating world of insects. You kick off the adventure with a connected tradebook, insect bodies, and tradebook activities that align to the domain, and an amusing and engaging animated knowledge builder video that emphasizes deeper inquiry with the new topic. In this fun clip, you witness what happens when a solitary insect, the grasshopper, takes a vacation to the habit of social insects, honeybees. High-quality instructional materials support you every step of the way as you build knowledge through listening comprehension. Formative assessment opportunities are an essential feature of every lesson, giving you multiple opportunities to monitor and adjust instruction. The hallmark of the K2 knowledge strand is a new read aloud every day. In this case, as you tell the story of the insect world, first through the insect's perspective, and then through the perspective of an entomologist, dynamic images and built-in engagement strategies support your read aloud time. And after the read aloud, it's time for students to synthesize their new knowledge and continue applying what they've learned. During the application section of the lesson, students apply knowledge acquired during the read aloud through a variety of activities, such as additional vocabulary instruction, graphic organizers, and writing prompts. And as you progress through the insects domain, your students move from building an insect journal to writing an insect story and labeling parts of insects.
Beginning in third grade, lessons in CKLA integrate all aspects of ELA: reading, writing, speaking, listening, grammar, morphology, vocabulary, while continuing to build critical background knowledge. Let's take a look at a fourth grade lesson from the Eureka Student Inventor Unit. In this dynamic unit, students research and write about famous inventors across time. But there's a catch. They have to work in teams to pitch a famous invention to a Shark Tank team of famous inventors: Jacques Cousteau, Thomas Edison, Hedy Lamarr, and George Washington Carver. As they work together, they collect tokens for knowledge, research, collaboration, documentation, failure, and pitching. And every day, each team has a chance to win the coveted light bulb of glory. Lesson 4 focuses on pitching, creating and delivering persuasive presentations. At this point in the unit, they have researched their inventions and they have learned what makes a good pitch and a bad pitch. The lesson at a glance blocks out the sequence of activities in the lesson, and advanced preparation gives you tips to get ready for the lesson. Online resources include videos that weave the lessons together.
Instruction in this particular lesson draws heavily on the integration of speaking and listening standards and writing standards. The contestants, or your students, use research to write and present pitches about great inventions, such as the airplane, alarm clock, microscope, radio, and telephone. Students practice using the pitch planner with notes and reading from yesterday's lesson. This is a scaffolding opportunity designed to help them to be successful with the real thing, which comes later in the lesson. As students are building their pitches, you work in groups to focus on gathering evidence. Students collaborate with one another to complete a pitch planner and develop a winning sales pitch. As the groups build those pitches, you can focus on supporting the use of text evidence. Students practice their pitches, assigning roles and adding impactful statements and gestures. Then it's time for the pitch. As teams deliver those pitches, the audience is taking notes and gathering information in their Eureka student activity books, building background knowledge.
And it was called the water clock. It was basically a bowl with a hole and water in it.
Oh, I wonder what time it is.
It changed things by making it easier to coordinate with with each other. As we say it, the clocks are always moving and ticking. One more thing when you see a clock. Think, oh, what an extraordinary invention. Ships would sink without the guidance of the clock.
We're going down! We're going down!
But with the guidance of the clock, it made it more safe to sail ships.
Yay, I'm floating. Yay, I'm floating.
And don't forget, the clocks are always moving and ticking.
The materials are also available online in the CKLA Student Hub, including Spanish readers in the Biblioteca and audio support, text tracking, highlighting, and note-taking. You can guide students through a slideshow of each lesson, and students can complete work in their activity books digitally. You can even view and project student work in real time. The online vocabulary app supports vocabulary expansion and retention through engaging instruction and practice activities.
Assessments in Amplify CKLA begin with in-the-moment checks for understanding to increase engagement and to let you make real-time adjustments where they count most for your students. Each lesson goal is aligned to standards and tied to a formative assessment opportunity, allowing you to see if adjustments need to be made in your instruction or if individual students or groups of students need more support. Each unit and domain includes a mid-unit and end-of-unit assessment, providing valuable information on the skills and content that students have mastered while preparing them for high-stakes state assessments. Digital end-of-unit assessments are available on a variety of platforms, including Illuminate and Otis. In addition, benchmark assessments help you set goals and monitor the growth of each student, providing a baseline at the beginning of the year and ensuring students are advancing toward grade level objectives.
And for those occasions when your students want to read more about what they're learning in your CKLA classroom, and that happens all the time, they can find what they're looking for with ReadWorks. Amplify CKLA and ReadWorks have partnered to deliver high-quality texts curated to support the Amplify CKLA knowledge sequence and to extend student learning within specific knowledge domains. These texts are accompanied by vocabulary supports and standards-aligned formative assessment opportunities. Teachers can monitor their students' progress using the ReadWorks reporting feature. And of course, high-quality professional development is a critical component to the successful implementation of Amplify CKLA. Amplify offers a wide range of professional development opportunities that are designed to meet the diverse needs of teachers and instructional leaders across different stages of learning, from initial training to topic-based workshops, strengthening sessions, on-demand training, and classroom coaching.
With the help of Amplify CKLA, teachers across the country are transforming their classrooms into vibrant learning spaces, not just teaching students how to read, but building lifelong learners. Every instructional touchpoint is designed to intentionally build academic knowledge, and systematic, explicit, foundational skills instruction supports literacy for all, not just some. And as your students grow as readers and thinkers, CKLA grows with them. Go online to experience the whole program and continue your review.